guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Nono. So today I'm going to be discussing the cost of living in South Africa according to my experiences. Now, there was a time where me and my partner were exploring renting an apartment somewhere in Midrand, which is central to both our workplaces, but we abandoned that idea because it was very expensive. Rentals for about 2 bedrooms range from 7,000 to 9,000, which is the money that we just didn't have at that time. Now, rent is really expensive in the metro parts, of the country. Joburg being one of the metro cities or the economic hub of South Africa, with Midrand especially being so close to many office parks and being central to Pretoria and being central to Pretoria and Joburg, so you can understand why it was so expensive. An average South African earns 15,000 rand, but most people will tell you that it usually feels like you need double in order for you to be able to have a comfortable life in Pretoria or Johannesburg. So we ended up abandoning that idea because then we did our math and we saw that we could not afford paying rent for 7,000 rand, and then on top of that we would have had to buy electricity because we would have been staying in such a place in Midrand. We would need preschool, which was going to be 1,000 plus for each twin, and it was going to end up taking us to around 12,000 rand, just the expenses before we buy electricity and everything and water. So we ended up abandoning the idea and set back on the drawing table, and redecided otherwise. And then now when it comes to the everyday essentials, which is the groceries and the transport, guys, so apparently according to the stats, the average bill of one person is around 2,500 rand, and for a family of 4 it can range from 6,000 to 8,000, which is very true. I've seen that in the past 2 months that I've been staying with my twins, that this is very true. And this is and then according to the statistics, this is before you even buy takeaways and you treat yourself. So yes, this is true. I found that since I've been staying with my twins, I found that our grocery ranges from around 4,000 years to 8,000 rand. So because I am incorporating the grocery for the babies, which will now be your diapers, your milk, your wipes, and all their food. And then now it's our food, the meat, the starch and everything. It will range between 4,000 rand and 6,000 rand, but this is only in a month where I am doing the bulk buying. I always try by all means to make sure that the detergents and the basic things are there, and the only thing that we replenish a month would be your stuff that gets rotten, such as the meat and the vegetables. And for the meat, we usually buy for something around 2,000 rand, and then maybe groceries for around 500 rand, and then there'll be your coffee, your milk and your tea, which will also land around 500 rand, taking us back to around 3,000 rand, plus their groceries, which is around 1,500 rand, taking us to almost 6,000 rand. You see, we got there. And then there is transport. My oldest son goes to a school that is roughly 50 kilometers away from home, and he pays 1,400 for his transport, and that's just him alone. And then with me, with the car, I put petrol of around 100 rand as and when I need it. So I do not put petrol just for the sake of putting petrol. I put petrol as and when I need it. And currently, as I sit here, I poured in 100 rand on Saturday, and I'm still driving using that 100 rand until now. It's a Tuesday. I've been driving on that 100 rand, taking my kids to school, which is 3 kilometers away from home, and doing a bit of errands here and there with just that 100 rand. So once that 100 rand is finished, I'll go and get another one, and I work from home, so sometimes I would spend most of my time inside the house. Besides going to get the twins, I'm in the house. So apparently at the moment petrol is costing at around 24 rand per liter, so which means that with 100 rand I get my good 4 liters, yeah, which pushes me. Plus I don't want to count insurance and maintenance, because then that would fall in the budget in the main spreadsheet, which I will do another video for that. And then there's airtime, there's data, there's all those small costs that we really take for granted. But luckily for me, I have Wi-Fi in the house, and when I'm not in the house, I have a telecom package which I bought data. I think it's 80 gig per month, which lasts me for the whole month, rather for the whole month even. And then I only top up I never top up. So what used to happen before, I used to buy 20 gig for 150 for 7 days, and it will finish. And then because I do a lot of live streams with the twins channel, it will finish quickly and I'll need to replenish. And I have to admit, I spent thousands on data, plus there was home Wi-Fi including that, so I spent more than 1,500 rand on data. But I decided to go with this one service provider, get my 80 gig once off for when I'm outside the house, from when the Wi-Fi is acting up and I need to do my work, it's sorted. And I only pay 300 rand a month, plus the home Wi-Fi, which is around 600 rand a month, which is, I feel like I'm saving 50% of what I was spending before this structure. Now when it comes to leisure and other basic things, such as what you call this, like lifestyle. Now we all love a good lifestyle, going to the movies, going for dinner with your partner and all that. But for me, to be honest with you guys, ever since I've had the twins, I haven't had really the luxury to do that. So I haven't been going out for luxurious things. I'm just at home with my twins, and I hope that the time will come when I can get time to really go out. But for those who'd like to go out when you're in South Africa, you can expect to spend around 400 to 600 rand per meal, right, for perhaps like a dinner for two in a pretty reasonable place, right? Now healthcare is another story. I prefer to use the public hospital. Yes, I prefer to use the public hospital for my babies because they're still young. I can carry them to the hospital and I get all the services that I need from the clinic. So I do not have to spend much on medical expenses. The only medical expenses that I'll spend on is when they have perhaps a cold or they are not feeling well, and it's something that I can quickly go and get at the top of the counter at the pharmacy. So with that, I can maybe say I spend 200 rand per month or nothing. Take for instance, in August they never got sick. I only bought them paracetamol this month when they were having, one of them was having a bit of a temperature. And then in terms of education and other things, I pay 1,400 for, I pay 2,400 rand as of this month for the twins to go to preschool. And my older son is autistic. He goes to a special school. He doesn't pay school fees at all. The only thing that I have to pay for my son is the 1,400 for his transport. I'm also a student, and I'm paying a student loan as well, which I'm paying 500 rand per month towards that student loan. But it's almost done. I think one thing about education in South Africa, it depends where you choose to do your education. For my master's degree, I chose to go to the University of KZN because it's very affordable. I managed to pay for it myself without even crying. My whole degree was around 17,000 rand. Well, I'm not done, but so far I've paid 17,000 rand, and if I'm lucky, I'll finish in December and I'll be able to graduate and I'll be done. But if you want your higher universities such as Wits and the University of Pretoria, you will definitely pay a lot of money. So my advice is that if you're a parent and you're in between, you don't qualify for a grant, for a national grant, just explore universities such as the UK's and University of Venda, University of Mpumalanga. I believe those are equally good as well. So, and also someone wanted to advise me that your children stand a higher chance of passing in those universities, which makes it easier for them to later get scholarships later on in life when they're doing their postgraduate studies. So our budget per month is pretty high for now, but this is something that I am working on, you know, towards lessening it up a bit. So our budget will be between 17 and 20,000 per month, and I know that it's a lot, but this is something that I am working on. I'll share a detailed video where I'll really share my spreadsheet with you and share all my expenses, and also share how I plan to cut some of the expenses so that I can have financial freedom, eat my money, go to the Blyde, you know, in Mamelodi, the outside Pretoria is, go for holidays, go to Hartebees, go to the God's Window. I mean, I stay not too far from those places, but I've never been there. So I need to pull my socks up so that I can be able to afford that lifestyle. Maybe once a year, right? There's nothing wrong with treating yourself once you're financially free. But if you feel like you're stressed and you really need to take a vacation, go for it, as long as you know how you're going to balance your things when you're done. So don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more real financial talk. And I'd love to hear from you in terms of the cost of living experience for you in South Africa, and please share that in your comments. And also another thing with South Africa, just like any other country, it depends on where you live. As I've been mentioning, the sides of mid-rent within the suburbs, rent is expensive, but if you go to Tembisa, for example, rent will be a bit lower, but this will mean that you have to take so many taxis for you to get to your final destination. It's always nice to be closer to amenities, to your work, to the kids' school, to the shops, you know. So please don't forget to share your experiences on the comments as well. I will see you on my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.